KuCoin are incorrect. They're all incorrect technically, but for some reason, depending on where the volume is right now, depends on which levels are getting respected or not. And the price is just following those levels. And sometimes this chart, the gate chart, is leading the price, and sometimes the KuCoin chart is leading. And actually both of the charts are incorrect. The correct chart technically is MEX, because it has the correct all-time high. And so when I go to the MEX chart, and even Bybit has an incorrect chart. So let me show you Bybit. Bybit has a much higher all-time high, and it has a much lower all-time low. Yeah. So if I was to do some kind of fib pool from there to there, you see, for some reason the price is respecting its own chart within its own fib levels, even though they're incorrect. Because the all-time high on Bybit is $4.5. The all-time low is this market sell, which went all the way down to 1.2 cents, which is not the all-time low. That's a, dare I say it, it's a scam wick. It just means there was no liquidity and someone just wanted to sell and exit. And it wasn't even a big sell. It was like 1.1 million. They should have just transferred their value to Gate or to KuCoin, and they would have they wouldn't have taken such a big loss, but that's by the by. And basically you see here on Bybit, the price, when it went up, it went into the golden pocket. See that? So very similar to Gate, even though that's not even the golden pocket. And here in this relief rally, it went up to the 382. And now the price is resisting at the 236. That's the only thing that I can see, a little similarities, this 236. But even so, on KuCoin, it's like we reclaimed it and lost it. On Bybit, we reclaimed it and lost it. And then when you look at Gate, no chance, nothing. Yeah, nowhere near it. But then when you look at MEX, which is the correct fib level, the MEX chart is the correct chart, you'll actually see that we still haven't, like, it almost, I think that's like that's the test. That's like it's testing it. It's like back testing it. And it's kind of, you can see the MEX one is correct. Even though the KuCoin one looks correct, and I was like, the reason why I was like following the KuCoin chart is simply because of the volume, because it has the most volume. And so here on the KuCoin chart, you can see that there is a level that's being respected, but actually the reality is the correct fib level is on MEX. So the correct number value is 0.05514. I mean, if I really want to do it correctly, I'll go on to CoinGecko. Let me just quickly do that now and get the value from there. Let me just have a look. So on CoinGecko, the all-time high is 1.56. So you see here it says 1.568. Let's change that to 1.56. And then the all-time low is 0.0197. 0.0197. This is 7. So this on the right side are the correct number values for the fib levels. But look at what's happening here on the right side on MEX. You know, the 382, there's no respect here, and here you see, like, it's hard because the volume is driving the price right now, and then you have to look at the respective fib levels on the charts with the most volume. So there's a little bit of divergence in the way the price is moving based on the volume that's coming in to the exchanges, which is driving the price. Anyway, the point is that we have to reclaim support on all of the exchanges. Just basically, that's what we have to do. We need all the exchanges to flip this level, this significant level into support. That's when we're going to have confirmation of an SR flip. Unfortunately, we need all the exchanges to flip the level into support, not just one exchange. At the very least, if let's say KuCoin flips a level into support, we need it to have significantly increased volume by a mile. Significantly increased volume. So like if I was, oh, what did I do? Oh, what did I do? Okay. If I was to go to, what did I want to do there? If I was to bring all four of the charts now on my screen, we've got Bybit here, and let's bring Gate there. Let's get rid of these. And if I was to do exactly the same thing, do fib pull from the all-time high to the low, and do exactly the same thing on Bybit to this flow here. Let's get rid of these volumes as well, so there's no need to see those. Let me just disconnect this and this. So this is that one. This is that one. Now people are wondering about fib. Well, fib is magic. You can't ignore fib. Fib is basically how the price moves. And so what I'm using is I'm using the log chart on the higher time frame. So I'm using the weekly candles right now, the weekly time frame, and then I'm using fib levels based on log. So if you go into your fib retracement, you can select it to the fib levels based on log, right? And so right now what I'm seeing is that this 236 needs to be flipped into support on all the charts. And the one that's laggard at the moment is Gate, because Gate is obviously it's lying a little bit higher than all of them. And even though Gate, actually probably not all of them, probably at the very least, if you look at them, at the very least 3 of them we need. We get, I mean, all of them would be better. That's kind of what you need. So actually, Gates 236 is at about 6.5 cents. Bybit's at 4.8 cents. Mex is at 5.5 cents. And KuCoin's at 4.6 cents. So maybe KuCoins would be the best because it's the easiest to flip because it's lower. And actually, because KuCoin has the most volume, I think probably in my mind what I'm thinking is still KuCoin, even though it's not correct. Just simply because it has the most volume and because it's a lower number, so it's easier to achieve. It's easier to flip the KuCoin level, which is 4.66 cents from a resistance into the support level. But technically, MEXC is the correct level, which is 5.5 cents. Technically, that's the correct level. And I think for confirmation, we need MEXC to flip. Like, that would give me more confidence. But it doesn't really matter because if all the volume is coming on in on KuCoin, if KuCoin is bringing in the most volume, then ultimately KuCoin will drive the price simply because of the little bots that are arbitraging in between the different exchanges. The bots don't care about fib levels, they just care about the price. And so if they see that the price on KuCoin is going up and up and up, or if the price is being held at a certain price on KuCoin, the bots don't care that it's a fib level or not. They're just going to be buying and selling and then settling their balances at the end of their settlement period. And that's how they do it. So anyway, the point that I'm making is that we have to flip the 236 into support. There's no question about what we have to do. This is the first task at hand. This is a significant fib level, and we basically have to flip every single fib level from resistance into support all the way through to the all-time high. That is our task. That's what we need to do. Right? And we're almost there. I think once we do this first, when we take this first step and we do finally get the price above this 236, I think that's going to give people a lot of confidence, honestly, because we still haven't managed to do that yet. So in my mind, that's the first task at hand. So now that I've explained to you the differences between these charts, I'm going to, for the sake of today, I'm going to go back to the MEXC chart. So I tried to chart a MEXC because it's the correct one, but I will kind of go in between them sporadically, just because I like to see what's happening on all the charts. Let me just get rid of these. Get rid of that. Right. Where's the other trend line? Okay. So this is the weekly time frame on the MEXC chart. And when I did a fib pull before to the all-time low, we can clearly see that we still have a little bit of work, because I think we need to get above this fib level. And, you know, like I said, all the different charts have their kind of nuances, but I mean, this fib level is kind of in play. You can kind of see how it reacts of this range here and how the price reacts here. There is a little bit of reaction here. It's a lot easier to see on KuCoin, but I think ultimately, if this flips, then we can be certain that it's flips. Like on KuCoin, if it flips, like I thought that we were above it, but actually when you look at the MEXC chart, you see that we didn't even get to it in this expansion here. See that? And actually what I'm seeing is that the price actually only really got to this point here, which is the previous high here. So you could argue that the level is actually slightly lower at 3.59. So it's these lines of kind of areas, and the reason, like I said, is because the charts are all slightly different. But this is good because this line also corresponds with the volume area of this range. So if I pull this volume area, you see that there's a tight volume area and the value area low of this range is slightly higher. It's about 5.7. It's a very tight range there, and that range lasted quite a long time. It lasted a good part of 21 weeks. So we do need to get back into that range. Effectively, that's what we need to do. I think that's the next task for the bulls. We need to get the price back up there, and then we need to flip this level into support. And I think everyone is going to feel a lot more confident once the MEXC fib level flips into support. That's 5.5. So if I was to go on the KuCoin, which is showing the most volume now, and just draw off 5.5. It's basically like, you see, it actually, you see how the price came into it there? So the price there, see that? So actually, we're probably contemplating our next upward range to be here, probably between these two levels on the KuCoin chart. So we're still not there yet. We still have to get above 4.6, and then probably our next range could be there before we find enough interest or momentum to push up to the next. I mean, that's basically what we're doing right now. Right now, the bulls are pushing the price up level to level. That's what's happening right now. And all of that is based on continuous accumulation, right? I'm accumulating every single day. I know that there's some other people who are accumulating every day, every single day. I've got friends who are accumulating every single day, and people have messaged me privately. They're accumulating every single day. No one is selling right now. So the selling that we're seeing on the lower time frame, I can't explain it, but it could just be people taking a little bit of profit and then buying back in, you know, a little bit of trading. And maybe people are just, it's hard to fill positions because the longs aren't necessarily market longing. They're putting limit orders, which is what I was explaining in yesterday's stream, because you can see that clearly. When you look at the medium, the lower time frames, you can see that on the MACD, there's hidden bullish divergences forming. So you have lower lows on the MACD and higher lows on the price. And so you can clearly see that there's, in the price action, there's hidden bullish divergence. And that just simply means that in this move down, the price was being absorbed by limit orders. And so therefore the price couldn't go lower as it should have gone, which is as low as this previous low. So as far as the volume, the price should be down here, but it's not, which means that the price is being absorbed. It's basically what's happening. And eventually the sellers are just going to exhaust, and that's what we've been able to do effectively as bulls. At every level, we've been able to exhaust the sellers. And I think, in my imagination, when I'm looking at the higher time frame on the chart, which I was explaining before, I mean, we all want an impulsive move. I don't know if that's going to happen until we can reclaim this 236 into support. I think that's going to be a big deal for everyone. And so I've got this idea drawn out. I think that's going to give everyone a lot of confidence. If we can flip that level, this 55-cent mark into support, and really flip it into support, like properly flip it into support, where the price is properly accumulating above this support line. That will confirm this LPS idea that I have on the Wyckoff schematic. Also, it's a massive sign of strength if we are able to reclaim the price action of this previous range. That's a sign of strength. And this was a long period of distribution. This was a good period of nearly 4 months of distribution in this range. And for the price to come back into that range, basically it negates this distribution. It means the price has been reaccumulated back up to this distribution level, which goes back potentially almost 2 years, almost like 1 year and 9 months ago. So I think that's a really, for me, that's a sign of strength. Even though the SOS on the Wyckoff schematics up there, for me, this is a massive sign of strength for the bulls to be able to do that. Now, I don't know how long we're going to be here after we reclaim that level. I can't tell. I can't predict that. But if we can confirm this level as a support line, this 5-5 level. So first we have to do it on KuCoin, which is slightly lower, which is 4.46 or something like that. And then we have to do a Mexi. Really, Mexi is the one in my mind, because that will then all the exchanges will line up. And if we can form a range here and just reaccumulate at this higher level, then I wouldn't be surprised if we then have an impulse. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm imagining. I'm imagining for the impulse to happen after we've claimed a major fib level into support and we've reclaimed a previous range, a significant range. This range is not insignificant because of the distance, the length of this range, because of the time spent in this range. And so naturally, this is quite a psychological achievement to be able to reclaim that range and the price levels of that range. And we haven't been able to do that yet. That's going to be a big achievement. I think then we potentially could see a lot more interest come into this token. And then the other thing that I'm contemplating is the momentum. So right now, when I'm looking at the moving averages, I really want this 50 moving average to continue going up. I don't want the price to fall underneath the 50 moving average. Yeah, I can't make it happen. I can't predict it, but I think it'll be really healthy for the price to take a step up and for this 50 to continue coming up. And that's going to begin the momentum. That's what we want. We want the momentum to build and build and build. And for the momentum to build, we need the price to keep on going up. And then we need the moving averages to start following up. And you have lots of other moving averages. You know, you have EMAs and whatever. If I was to go up here on my indicators, you could probably find a moving average bands. Average. Let me see. Ribbon then. See? Ribbon. That one. And basically what, I mean, this looks good, huh? This ribbon looks good. And basically what you want with the ribbon is you want it to be on fire. So yellow to orange to deep orange to red in a line. And so actually when I'm looking at this daily moving average ribbon, this is extremely bullish. You see that? So these are in perfect alignment. And now what we want is we want the price to go up and to go up and to go up. And eventually we're going to, down the line, we're going to have such a bullish momentum. It will be the reverse of what we experience in this down move. You see how in this down move, the ribbons were in the reverse formation. And so naturally, even though the price went up, it couldn't. The momentum just carried it, and carried it. Yeah. And even when the price tried to get back up, it couldn't because of the momentum, until the momentum eventually has been able to flatten out. And now what we're trying to do is exactly the reverse. And so we had our first attempt here, but actually the alignment, it lined up perfectly here, but this big one here was flat. And so now you see for the first time, really for the first time, you've got these moving averages lining up and all starting to point upwards. And the only way that we can carry this is for the price to go up. So I think if we can all line up our ideas of the future, and if we could all be on the same page, then we can actually make this happen. Why not? Let's make this happen. And I think everyone is going to be participation of everyone. that would be, for me, that would be the last point of support. I'm the lowest point of support, sorry. And that would confirm this next level of this Wyckoff schematic. And then we're looking for a buy up. And so I have in my mind a fib time level, which I've been tracking. Where is it? I'll just do it again. I'm on a weekly time frame. Let me hide those. Let me hide this Wyckoff now. Get rid of these brushes. I'm gonna hide that now. All right. So I've got this fib time in my mind. And basically it's the 18th, it's the week of the 18th of March, basically. I'm thinking to myself, if we could potentially be at the higher level by then, that's going to be a real confirmation, because then I'm looking for, potentially I'm looking for wave one of a 5-wave Elliott wave. That's what I'll be looking for. Some kind of impulse to go up. And that's only going to happen if we can flip the higher time frame level from resistance to support. So we have a task at hand. We have basically potentially about 4 weeks to do this. This is going to require people not selling, especially if Bitcoin dips. Who knows about Bitcoin? But if anything, we want people to be buying and just flipping this level into support. And then once we get that, you know, we can start getting more and more people in the crypto universe interested in TRVL, and hopefully we can get an impulsive move up to the next kind of significant level that I'm contemplating, which is somewhere in this higher region. I'm not quite sure where, but effectively what we really need to do is make a higher high, and that's to take out this weekly high. We take that out, we've made a higher high, and we're above 9 cents, which was a key resistance level as well. And we need an impulse through that level. I think we need a kind of an impulsive move with volume to get through that level. So that's kind of what I'm imagining for the future, and we just have to see what happens. Now, I can't predict the future. I'm just imagining the future. If for some reason that I can't explain, we now start turning to go down, well, it's kind of like Bitcoin, really. There's a lot of liquidity levels beneath us that are untapped, and I think people need to bear that in mind. So it's the same idea of Bitcoin. Like right now, Bitcoin is rallying, and actually there's a lot of liquidity levels underneath us on Bitcoin where people would be looking to accumulate at the lower prices. When I'm looking at the price action up to this level that we're at now, I can see very clearly there's a level there, there's a level there, there's a level there, there's a level there, you know, there's a level there, there's levels, there's liquidity levels where the price will find support. Okay, now I'm not saying the price is going to go down, and I don't want the price to go down, but if for some reason the price were to pull back significantly for whatever reason, like some madman decided to sell, we shouldn't panic. We should just see that as an opportunity to buy the dip, and it doesn't necessarily do us any harm if that was to happen either, as long as we don't make a new all-time low. And I think that's really going to be the test for us to prevent that from happening. So if I was to do a fib pull now, I can clearly see that the golden pocket falls in at about 3.5 cents through 3.3 cents. From the current price, that is another 18 to 23% lower. I think the test for us will be to, I'm just contemplating bullish scenario and the bearish scenario. If the price was to come down, I think that the golden pocket has to hold as support, and then that will be looking very head and inverse head. So the bullish idea changes from maybe from what I originally had, which was some kind of Adam and Eve pattern, to some kind of inverse head and shoulders pattern. That's kind of what, like, you see, the thing is, if one pattern breaks, you're only forming another pattern. And so in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, if for some reason we do go down, and I can't predict it, I'm just getting people prepared for both situations. Then we have liquidity levels underneath us, where people will buy, and we potentially could form a inverse head and shoulder, which is also extremely bullish on the higher time frame. When you look at it, if you contemplate the idea of a head and shoulders pattern, we don't have to go down to form that pattern, because to me it looks like we're forming it now. It doesn't, like, who knows, like, it doesn't we don't have to go down to form that pattern. We could just hold this trend line and just keep on going up, and that is also, I mean, it's more Adam and Eve to me, but it's also, in some ways, it's also an inverse head and shoulders. It's a weird shoulder, but it is. We just have to see how that plays out. But even if we were to go down, I'm not going to get too stressed, simply because we could be forming something else. Now, that doesn't mean, all that means is this could be a little bit more prolonged, that's all, in the lows. Now, I think it would be a lot healthier for higher prices. If we all want the higher prices, I think we have to go up. I think we have to now start going up. We need to, at the very least, we need to reclaim this 236 into support. I think that would be really healthy, because going up is about momentum, and the momentum is really going to kick in towards the end of the market. And so if we are imagining that Bitcoin hits its peak sometime at the beginning of March next year, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Bitcoin is going to peak at about February, March next year, like about 1 year down the line. I think it will expand towards the end of this year, but peak, I'm talking about the peak. And so what we really need to do is, by then, if you contemplate the Wyckoff schematic and the Adam and Eve idea that I have, and if you align it up with the moving averages, and I'm looking at the weekly one, so let's go to the daily time frame. One second, let me just get rid of this. So you see the moving averages have just turned now. What we really need for the momentum to build to get to those higher prices, which we all want, is we need these moving averages to start coming up and start rallying up and really start pushing up. And so what you'll get a situation where the price for the next 6 months to a year, if you get pullbacks, the price won't, it can't come back down. The momentum of the market will just keep on pushing the price up. And when people start seeing that and seeing the momentum, they're going to become more and more bullish, and people will become more bullish in the highs if we can start this bull run. That's what we're trying to do right now. We're trying to start the bull run on this token, and I think this token has the right conditions for this to happen, because we're starting to see the trend is changing, and we're forming higher time frame bullish patterns, and the project is off the charts. It's amazing. The project is really good. Fundamentally, the project is really good. And the other thing that you have to bear in mind is that no one really knows about Dtravel or TRVL. No one's really heard of it. We haven't been amazingly strong in marketing Dtravel. And so can you imagine a future where that changes? And then we're going to get a lot more interest. And so what we need to do in the short term to medium term is start accumulating the price up and up and up, and then holding. And the main thing for me in the short term is to flip this level into support and get back into this previous range. And so this is the task at hand, right? If we want higher prices, and I think this is what people want, they want higher prices. Now, many people can argue, well, let the market happen, you know, whatever. If it happens, it happens. You know, what will happen? Well, that's not true really, is it? Because here I am now, since the beginning of December, making videos about TRVL and publishing them on YouTube and creating a journal. And I'm raising awareness and telling people about the price action, etc., etc. And it's clearly had an impact on the price. Look at the price ever since I started in December. And actually, I've been talking on my Twitter. I've been talking about the price action since October, since the beginning of October. I'll show you. Hold on. Let me go and show you. I have to find it on my Twitter. How do I do that? I'm going to show you now. So for a lot of people, they might not have seen me or heard of me. That's fine. But I don't know how to search. That's the problem. Okay, search. Okay, there it is. Hold on, I'm going to find it first. Engagement. Oh, there's the dates. So from October 23 to November 23. These accounts. All right, let me just change my screen. Did that work? Nope. Didn't work. Let's try it again. Let me just try this one more time. I just want to show you. Let me try again. Well, there you go. Doesn't work. Stupid Twitter. It's broken. Yeah. Maybe I have to do it first. Let me try it first. Yeah. All right. forget it. But anyway, maybe that one from people you know. Settings. Advanced search. Let's try this one too. Right, Twitter search is a failure. Okay, never mind. Anyway, the point is that I have been, I think we do influence the price. It's not accidental. It's not like random. We all influence the price just by us being bullish or creating bullish sentiment or releasing bullish news or adding our bullish sentiments to the market, sharing bullish content, you know, spreading the information creates an increase in value, and it's we're all part of that equation. So we have to continue participating in that if we want to see high prices. I think a few people now are watching these videos who are accumulating on buying TRVL. So if we can align ourselves to understand what needs to happen for us to get to the higher prices, it's not going to happen. We're not going to get to higher prices if the price does this, you know, like, because of the momentum. The momentum is really important in a bull run, and actually it's all momentum. And so if I was to go and have a look at Bitcoin, you see, this is the daily chart. You see how now the moving averages are moving the price. They're guiding the price. And eventually what you'll get, and you see in the previous bull market, Bitcoin, you see how the moving averages were causing the price to expand and expand and expand. And then when they were expanding, they were holding the price at higher prices. Anyway, so that's my little update on TRVL, and it's already going up a little bit. So I'm very excited to see that. It's never a bad thing. All right, I'm going to take a 5-minute break now, and then I'm going back and do some charts, some altcoins. If there's any requests, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just pick